I am and have always been a very big rereader of books. I like to revisit my favorite books again and again. But why is that? Why do I like to reread? That is exactly what we're going to explore in today's video. Hello everyone, it is Samantha. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I am here today with a discussion video. Today I wanted to discuss with you guys why I like to reread and to open a discussion to see if you like to reread, and if you do, why that is, and if you don't, why that is. So without further ado, let us dive into this topic. So as I said in the intro, I've always been a very, very big rereader of books ever since I was a kid and I was young and I first encountered The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I could not get enough of those two book series and I just had to keep rereading them again and again and again. And lately I've been thinking, why is that? Why do I like to reread books? And I think it's for multiple reasons. So these are my reasons for why I like to reread. Number one, I like to experience the world again and again and again because with books, you never really have to let them go. You can revisit them as often as you like. You can revisit your favorite characters and still experience that same joy and anticipation that you experienced the first time that you read the book. And I love that, just getting all excited again. Even though you know what's going to happen, you still kind of get that level of excitement and happiness to just experience it again, and you remember how you felt the first time that you read it, and I absolutely love that. It just makes it all fresh in my mind again. With books, you never really have to let anything go. You can just keep revisiting it as much as you want. Second reason why I like to reread is because I tend to pick up on more things the second time around. So things I may have missed the first time, I will realize the second time upon reading. I think that happens a lot with reading, especially when you read something for the first time. You're just engrossed in the story and you want to know what's going to happen, and you're so invested in the characters and the plot that you sometimes miss little details and nuances that the author has put into the work. So I found a lot, especially with books like The Lord of the Rings, upon a second or a third or even a fourth reread, that I'm still picking up things that I didn't pick up on the first or second or third, however many times before I had read it. And I think that's a really beneficial thing with rereading. The third reason why I like to reread is because it helps me remember the story more than if I read it only once. So sometimes, particularly if it's a nonfiction book, I'll reread those occasionally as well. I don't always remember all of the details, and sometimes I want to be able to remember those things and remember the story and remember why I loved it. And part of remembering anything is repetition, and upon rereading books, I will remember the plot and the characters and the nuances of the book more later on and remember why I love it. And so if somebody asks me why I like a book, I can tell them why, because I will remember because I've read it so many times. The fourth reason why I like to reread books is to see if my opinion has changed, particularly if it's a book that I have not read in years. I like to reread it and see if perhaps my life experiences have somehow changed my perspective on the book. Perhaps in some cases, it might be that I don't like the book anymore. Perhaps it's a book that I loved as a kid, but now as an adult, because of things I've experienced or because I've grown as a reader, I don't much care for it anymore. And to kind of compare and contrast where I was in these two places in my life and to see why it is that I may not or like a book as much as I did when I was younger. And sometimes the reverse is true. There could be a book that I absolutely hated when I was younger, and then when I reread it, I absolutely love it. Like, I love it so much, and I will wonder, why didn't I like this when I was younger? This is so good. And I think part of that is because you are in different places in your life. You have maybe more experiences under your belt that kind of affect your worldview. You have a different way of looking at things, and I think it's like looking at a book through fresh eyes. You can finally experience it in a new way just because you have experienced different things in your life. And I think that might be one of the more important parts about rereading is the fact that you should go back and revisit these books and to see just how your opinion has changed and why. All right, guys, so those are the reasons why I like to reread, why I go back to books again and again. You'll have to let me know down in the comments what your view is upon rereading and why it is that you like or don't like to reread, because I am curious to know, so let us discuss it down in the comments. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.